Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, Text 40. Yat api dik ibha jainah yajvinah ye vai rajarishayah kim tu param mridhe shairan asyan eva mama iyam iti krita vaira anubandhayam visrajya swayam upasamhritah. Yadapi digibhajaino yajvino yevai rajarshayah kimtu param mridhe shairan nasyam eva mameyamiti krita vairanu bandhayam visrujya swayamupasamhritah. Yat api, although dik ibhajainah, who are victorious in all directions, yajvinah, expert in performing great sacrifices, ye, all of them, vai, indeed, raja rishaya, very great saintly kings, kim tu, but param, only this earth, mridhe, in battle, shairan, lying down, asyam, on this earth, eva, indeed, mama, mine, iyam, this, iti, considering in that way, krita, on which is created, vaira anubandhayam, a relationship of enmity with others, visrajya, giving up, swayam, his own life, upasamhritah, being killed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: There were many great saintly kings who were very expert in performing sacrificial rituals and very competent in conquering other kingdoms. Yet, despite their power, they could not attain the loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is because those great kings could not even conquer the false consciousness of I am this body and this is my property. Thus, they simply created enmity with rival kings, fought with them, and died without having discharged life's real mission. Please repeat. There were many great saintly kings who were very expert in performing sacrificial rituals and very competent in conquering other kingdoms. Yet, despite their power, they could not attain the loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is because those great kings could not even conquer the false consciousness of I am this body and this is my property. Thus, they simply created enmity with rival kings, fought with them, and died without having discharged life's real mission. Purport. The real mission of life for the conditioned soul is to re-establish the forgotten relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in devotional service so that he may revive Krishna consciousness after giving up the body. One doesn't have to give up his occupation as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or whatever. In any position, while discharging his prescribed duty, one can develop Krishna consciousness simply by associating with devotees who are representatives of Krishna and who can teach this science. Regretfully, the big politicians and leaders in the material world simply create enmity and are not interested in spiritual advancement. Material advancement may be very pleasing to an ordinary man, but ultimately he is defeated because he identifies himself with the material body and considers everything related to it to be his property. This is ignorance. Actually, nothing belongs to him, not even the body. But by one's karma, one gets a particular body, and if he does not utilize his body to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all his activities are frustrated. The real purpose of life is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-13. Atah kumbhirjashrestha varnashrama vibhagasah svanushthitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. It really doesn't matter what activity a man engages in. If he can simply satisfy the Supreme Lord, his life is successful. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is a very nice verse. Rajarshayah Kim param rthe shariram nasyam eva mameyam iti. So this mameyam is mentioned in our Śāstra in different ways. Sometimes it is called mamaham, sometimes it is called aham mameti, and here it is called mameyam iti. So mamaham means, mama means my, aham means I. So I and mine, iti means considering like that. When we are in that platform, we have not conquered the very first, even we have not even entered into the phalanx of the army of Maya. You know, there is a quotation from the Bible which says, what profiteth a man who has gained the whole world but has lost his eternal soul? So that's exactly what this verse is about. What is it? There were many great saintly kings who were very expert in performing sacrificial rituals and very competent in conquering other kingdoms. Yet, despite their power, they could not attain the loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is because those great kings could not even conquer the false consciousness of I am this body and this is my property. Thus, they simply created enmity with rival kings, fought with them, and died without having discharged life's real mission. So, people, when they are children, they are told that your duty is to study and get prepared for a comfortable life when you grow up. That's what parents push the children for. Starting from 3 years old, they put them in preschool, nursery, kindergarten, and then first class, second class, and sometimes it's a grade 1, grade 2. And primary, secondary, tertiary, and then there is the degree, postgraduate, PhD. They'll push them for all these things and the child is made to think that that is his duty in life at that time. And when he grows, what happens? He becomes busy with actually today's song. That's what we sang. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Vidyar Gaurave Bhami Deshe Deshe. That's what happens. When we grow up, then whatever education that we have, with that we will go from country to country, gaining reputation, money, and security in this so-called material security. And in that way, we become busy with that so-called duty. And also, when we were young, we waste our time in playing. Of course, through playing, children, they get to experience this world and that's how they learn things. But also, it's spent in complete ignorance of one's actual position. So basically, childhood life is almost like animal life. When absolute infant, it's complete animal life. Animals are actually better off than infants. The animal, when it comes out, 20 minutes and it can start walking. And the human child will take months to even turn the other side. Very slow compared to animals, extremely slow. But of course, there's development in the brain. But still, nothing compared to, it's almost the same as animals. Prabhupada said, if he was not a fool, why send him to school? Otherwise, there was no need for sending him to school. He would have been learned. He is fool. So we start off as fools, and we play, which the animals also do. If you see any animal, they all play with their playmates. Even the lion, who is so ferocious, they also play when they are young. In fact, that's how they learn how to hunt. Suppose there's their own pride of lions, there's other lion cubs. So he will sneak up from the back and then try to capture him. So they try to learn stealth, all that there. And then they will fight. In that way, they will learn. So that is animal kind of learning. And then we're sent to schools where we completely forget God. In fact, in school, they indoctrinate the children not to show off your, religious symbols, necklace or tilak or something. We are secular. If you are really secular, you should not bother about what they're doing about religion. Let them do what they want. Of course, don't encroach on people and kill people. Don't say jihad and come and shoot somebody. That's unacceptable. But as long as you're following your thing, if they're really secular, actually a state should not be secular. This today's verse, Rajarshi. What is Rajarshi? Saintly kings, Raja and Rishi at the same time. Raj by profession, Rishi by character. Not that Raj and Mlecha by character. Yavana. Today's Raja all Mlechas. Mlecha Rajanya Rupina. That is stated in the predictions for Kali-yuga. Asanskrita Kriyahina. 12:140. Srimad Bhagavatam 39 and 40. You see. Stri balaggodvijaghnascha paradaradhanadritaah उदितास्तमित प्राया अल्पसत्त्वाल्पकायुषः असंस्कृताः क्रियाहीना रजसा तमसावृताः प्रजास्ते भक्षयिष्यन्ति म्लेच्छा राजन्यरूपिणः. Today's kings are म्लेच्छा राजन्यरूपिणः, not Rajarshi. These barbarians in the guise of kings will devour the citizens. This is actually predictions of Kali-yuga mentioned in the 12th canto. And now it is like common. These things are common. So for us, it seems like, okay, there's nothing too great about these predictions because that's how politicians are. No, they were not like that. This was unheard of at the time it was written. Unimaginable at the time. But now it's commonplace. These barbarians in the guise of kings will devour the citizenry, murdering innocent women, children, cows, and brahmanas, and coveting the wives and property of other men. They will be erratic in their moods, have little strength of character, and be very short-lived. Indeed, not purified by any Vedic rituals and lacking in the practice of regulative principles, they will be completely covered by the modes of passion and ignorance. Now, actually, let's unpack this a little bit. We may think, oh, barbarians devour citizenry, murdering innocent women. I don't know how much they're doing that. Sometimes we don't see it. But we should not. Maya is so expert. In fact, recently, what happened with the United Healthcare Group? Have you heard the news? No? Okay, good. Because there was this insurance company, big insurance company in the United States, and the CEO was shot dead. He was assassinated by a radicalized youngster. They shot him dead from behind. He was walking and then he just took a gun and shot him. And it created a huge uproar in the whole country. And what it was about? What was it about? Yeah, murders happen everywhere, but what was this about? The thing is, and one person actually explained this on the news very nicely. So because insurance companies, there is so-called premium you have to pay, right? And then you will have your bills covered. But actually, it's kind of a scam because in the countries where there is no healthcare system, the Medicare is very cheap. In India, if you go, everything is dirt cheap. I went to doctor, check something when I was in India last year. Yeah, last year. I was expecting, because I became used to Singapore charges. Even if you just go to health, what is it, A&E, accident and emergency, or even just for consultation, you got a cold and you went, $60 gone. What happened? I just got a cold. I just need some tablets. What $60 for? Consultation fees. So I was expecting maybe 500, 1,000 rupees at least, which is still $10 less than $10 or $20 max. But it was 200 rupees. I was like, he spent at least half an hour. 200 rupees. So I was like, because here the healthcare system is there, and there is a huge kind of scam. The government, the healthcare, and nobody knows what's the actual cost of the medicine. They just mark it up so much, and then these companies, they make money. The government makes money. All the hospitalized are nationalized, and then they siphon the money because this much you have to pay for this, and the insurance pays. And for that, a premium should be high. So they make the money out of the premiums. And the government will make the money out of the insurance companies, because the insurance has to pay for whatever bill, right? Actually, it's dirt cheap, but because of insurance, they get the money. So it's all a marriage between the companies and the government. So this insurance company was, and on top of that, in US, they will evaluate. The insurance company will evaluate whether we should give you or not. Here, a little, I don't know, but so far insurance seems okay. I don't know, maybe there are cases, but in the United States, you apply for insurance claim. They 80% of the time don't give it. They say, oh, that's not covered because of this. They will find some reason, and that will put off many. Actually, it is illegal for them to do that. So when they say like that, people don't pursue. But some people who pursue and make noise, for them, okay, we will give. So actually, they should give by policy, but they don't. So in this way, many people could not pay their bills, and it was mounting up on them, and they had to take debts and work 3 jobs, and it was becoming difficult. And for that reason, they won't even go to healthcare because it's too expensive, and chronic illnesses. So how would people like if their families were, tortured like that? But that doesn't look like, murdering innocent women, children, and cows and brahmanas. Brahmanas, cows, though, there's no consideration at all. What Brahmin? Work a job. What are you doing, Brahmin? Go out chanting mantras. Go and work a job. Get yourself some course. Do some diploma or something. Go and work. What are you doing? Nonsense. So that's Brahmanas. And cows, forget it. They are silently killed in the slaughterhouses. There's nothing. So this insurance guy, he was shot dead because people were so angry. So this particular man, on a news channel, he was saying, of course, we should deplore violence. It is not correct what he did, shoot somebody dead like that. But then, that is easy to point as violence. Oh, this man took a gun. And when you shoot a person with a gun, it's easy for people to see the violence. It's visible. It's visceral. So, it's easy to condemn. Everything is black and white. But what he said was interesting, because he said, but what if such killing happens in a systemic way with PDF documents? What does that mean? The healthcare, the insurance company will give a PDF to you saying that no, you can't claim this, and do that systemically. So you cannot point fingers at anyone. Oh, it's just some vague thing that is not allowing me to claim. What is that vague thing? You can't know. So when it's so vague, you can't point anything to anything. So you just accept your fate and then move on with life. And it doesn't look like violence. So violence comes in many forms. And I've mentioned this so many times. Abortion. So many times. The Hiroshima Nagasaki, so graphic, right? Everybody of us, we learned about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the atom bomb, the nuclear bomb. And that was in 1945. Guess how many people died on that day? 2 bombs were dropped. Actually, by today's standards, they are very backward. I mean, very primitive. They're not very efficient bombs. Now, bombs are thousands of times. Each bomb is thousands of times more powerful than the ones thrown in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Guess how many people died on that day? What? Millions? No. The upper limit estimate of it is 210,000. 2 cities, 210,000 people died. And of course, the radiation, brought many genetic deformations and many problems over a few generations. But taking in the upper limit estimate, this is not even the upper limit of estimate, is 210,000 people. And that is touted as the most violent day of the 20th century, the worst day of the 20th century, right? So that is visceral, that is very visible. You can have a graphic, oh, that big mushroom cloud of, and the whole thing flattened, the cities were flattened and everybody. So that's easy to say that is violence. But abortion, the exact number of people who died on that day, 200,000, die every single day through abortion. 200,000 children are killed every single day all over the world in a decentralized, democratic way. Democratization of violence. Now they say democratization of media, where there's no more like, those principal media houses where you have news coming out from. Now we have podcasters, we have all kinds of, this is called democratization of media, where everyone can participate in. But it's actually a lot of noise more than signal. But anyway, they call it the democratization of media. Now there is democratization of violence. And it happens in the name of healthcare now. Healthcare, doctors who are supposed to, where is the health of that child? He's killed, first of all. And where is the care? Both for the child and the mother. The child is being killed. The mother is being sent to hell for that. So where is the health and where is the care? But it goes on in the name of healthcare. It's a deceptive way of murdering people just because it is covered by a membrane tissue. I was shocked because I'm still doing a video on documentary on the abortion from the Vedic perspective. So I actually wanted to show what exactly happens. Let people see. Don't hide it under some curtain and some, even the mother herself doesn't know what is going on. No. Everybody, let's see what actually happens. So I was actually seeing this animation that they were showing. In the first trimester, when there are two ways, like she either takes a pill, and they say medicine, that is medicine. That's not medicine. That's a pill. That's a poison. What happens is it in the uterus, in the womb, it completely there's a wall lining which protects the child, and that lining is completely gone with that pill, and the child dies there. And then there's another medicine that is so-called medicine. Let's not even call it medicine. It's rubbish language. It's a poison pill which then flushes out. So much bleeding will happen, and so that the baby can be flushed out into the toilet like shit. And if it's a little bit more bigger, injection directly into the womb. And what it does, directly into the brain of the child, causing a heart seizure. You give a heart attack to a child and call that healthcare. You induce a heart attack in the child. And if it doesn't die, give another one. Make sure the child is dead with a heart attack. Cardiac arrest is what happens. And they just cover, because the child is just covered by the skin, by this wall. Oh, it's all okay. It's just, we are giving women's liberation. We are giving women the right to choose and have autonomy on their bodies. So this is a very systemic way of killing. And if it's even bigger, suction him out. The vacuum cleaner, like a vacuum cleaner, suction. This thing is 20 times more powerful than that. And it sucks the whole body, and the baby just gets smashed into that thing and becomes liquid and goes into the garbage bag. If it is even bigger, second trimester, that's when they will dismember the child piece by piece, because they can't come out with any of the other methods. So they put a tongs, put inside, and then rip open whatever comes out. The leg comes out, and they have to keep that all on the table. The leg comes out, they put the leg there, because they have to make sure all the inventory, all the parts of the body are out. If there is something is inside, it will cause infection and the mother will die. So they have to make sure that everything is on the table, and they count everything. Okay, everything is out. The hand, the ribs, everything smashed, and then they smash the skull The white liquid comes out. That's the brains. And then they put everything out. And they call that healthcare. And even third trimester, they do. Some places. Even when the child can survive outside the womb. And it's a viable child. Still they do. And the child will deliver the mother will deliver the child in the toilet dead. And then they ask them not to see, and then the nurses will do whatever. You just don't see. If they really see, then they know what they did. So, by just convincing the people in language that will mask the real nature of the grotesque nature of these things, it's actually murder. So it's happening every day. That many people, that many children are being killed. No one, no nothing. Nobody is punished. And there have been some people who were abortionists, committed more than 1,000 abortions, 1,200 some, and they changed. They became, of course, Catholic, Christian, whatever. They changed, and the regret they carry the rest of their lives. They said, no serial killer is greater than me. They were saying like this. No serial killer would match what I did. The worst of serial killers, they only killed 30, 40 people. I killed 1,200 this year. So, this is there are many things like this. For example, wars. Russia-Ukraine war. First of all, army people die unnecessarily, civilians die. Damage to property, everything. Why? Because they want it's actually a money laundering scheme. I don't want to go into all that. It's a long story. But it's a money laundering scheme by the US. That's all it is. And it's not even the so-called government that people elect. It's a shadow government which stays behind the scenes and runs the whole nonsense show. This is barbarians. They're not at all Rajarshi. So it's not just because, there is bloodshed, there is grotesque, some beheading of people, that is only violence. No, violence comes in many forms. And silent genocides are happening while we speak. Every second, few babies are being killed there, everywhere. So who to blame? Nobody is actually blamed. The law is actually allowing it, and they're celebrating it. Mothers are celebrating the murder of their child. Look at Kali-yuga. So torture is one thing where the person is feeling the pain. But worse than torture is to convince him that torture is actually good for him, and there is pride in that torture. Then the woman will, yes, women's liberation, you will fight for it, rallies, this and that. What are they fighting for? For them to go to hell and for the children to die. And then not only that, let's take another issue, transgenderism. Another violence. People are cutting off their body parts. Their private parts. They're cutting off. Women are cutting off their breasts, men are cutting off their penises. And mutilation of their own body, and then taking chemical injections and ruining their bodies. And they call it, my right to choose my gender. Affirming my gender. Gender affirming, what they call it in medical terms. Gender affirming care. How nicely it sounds, right? Gender affirming care. Rascals. So always look for the deception in the words. But we cannot see this deception if we don't see through the eye of the Śāstra. Yes, Krishna. They force us now, almost, corporations, all these so-called progressive government corporation bodies or shadow government bodies, they guilt trip you into using pronouns, appropriate pronouns. Refuse to participate in that, please. Refuse to participate vehemently. Because you are promoting then all this rubbish. Krishna created man, woman, that's it. Sometimes there are eunuch and intersex, that's another thing. That's more of a outlier than a rule. So, but Krishna is created in one way. Respect that, that's all. Otherwise, you're first of all insulting Krishna by choosing this one, that. What you're choosing? Fool. And anyway, a man, however much he may look like a woman, he cannot give birth to a child. He doesn't have the organs inside. It's just a lie. The top to bottom, they're lying. Huh? God is binary. Non-binary. Not binary. No, God is actually male. Not material male, spiritual male. So anyway, the thing is, they induce torture, self-inflicted torture, where the person voluntarily undergoes these things. So how is that called violence now? He himself is fighting for it. Hey, let me cut off my body. What is your problem? But even a slight cut, you will go to the doctor and get some antiseptic, whatever. He is voluntarily getting his body cut, paying people, and they're receiving payment for cutting bodies, live bodies. What is that? So when they come with some nice sounding proposal, wait first. Don't simply accept anything. Something is there. Follow the money trail. They say. Follow the money trail. Find out where the money, who is funding this, and where the money is going. You just follow the trail of money. You will know actually what is happening. So we should see all. And you might say, why are you talking about all these things in Bhagavatam class? These things will hit us. Now, our generation, maybe not so much, we're not so. Generations down, they will have to be with schoolmates who are saying, oh, I feel like I'm a boy, or I feel like I'm a girl. And then schools will encourage. In fact, in America, schools are grooming. Even if you don't feel anything, they will make you feel something. Oh, you're a boy, you're playing with pink color toy, you must be a girl. Girls play with pink color. What kind of nonsense? Yeah. They make him grooming, rascals. And this is so-called education. Yeah. So we will have to face this otherwise. And if the parents are oblivious, this is nothing else, some US, some crazy fellows. No. Whatever happens in the US, all the media, social media is owned by the US. What is that? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, who? US. Whole world is watching. So it's not that something happening in the US is only in the US. No, it's no more that world. Everything is everywhere now. The moment he posts something there, he will come here in a minute. So the culture is, it used to take like decades to come to the East. Now it happens in a matter of months. And now here also people are, in India also, transgender nonsense. People are fighting for, they have to make it legal. The Supreme Court, there are big discussions. Lawyers all sitting there. Did you see those videos? Lawyers are all fighting for, back and forth regarding allowing, should we allow transgender, same-sex marriage. It's not even a discussion. Dismiss it completely. What is that? Krishna said, Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. 7-Eleven. You know the 7-Eleven chain? Convenience stores? 7-Eleven. Where they sell condoms there, right at the counter. You remember this one, 7-Eleven. Bhagavad Gita, 7-Eleven. Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. What is that? I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. Oh Lord. That means the sex life which is not contrary to religious principles is the representation of Krishna. That means within marriage, for procreation and for responsible procreation, make sure that the child actually becomes a devotee. At least for procreation. If you don't know, even if you don't know how to make it responsible procreation, and eventually, hopefully, you will meet some devotee somewhere, your life will become successful. All of us, we may not be born in a responsible parentage. Yeah, we became children of someone, but they knew that we have to get them to Godhead. They did not know, most of us. But anyway, because of the mercy of the Guru, the parents became successful in their life mission of training their child to become devotees. Actually, the parents failed, but the guru picked up. Okay, you know what? You come. So anyway, sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. Forget about same sex. Even within the heterosexual, without marriage, illicit. Within marriage, for not for procreation, illicit. There's so many rules. What to speak of same sex? What is that? Completely out. So it should not even be a discussion, wasting time. Big lawyers. What they study. This is what happens when we don't understand. Our education system doesn't teach us even who we are and what are we supposed to do. That's why these issues become big issues for discussion and debate and policy and activism. Wasting time from the real aim of life. That's what today's thing is. The kings, they are fighting, killing and gaining reputation, but in the end, dying like dogs, not fulfilling aim of human life. So we are preparing ourselves from the childhood, and when we grow up, and then when we grow up, then once we have a family, then preparation for the children's future, and then a house, and then their future, and then their marriages have to be performed. Then there is retirement, life after retirement, save for retirement, they say. And in China, I don't know, Indians I have never seen, they just burn the body, but here, they actually save up for their own funeral. Oh, I don't want to burden my children. I want to prepare for my death. What is the preparation? Because funeral here is, the coffin box and some big, whatever. Tens of thousands of dollars they save up for funeral. Their own funeral. Dead body. Body dead. They're planning. That's their so-called preparation for death. So, they're preparing so much. And dying, not even starting the real mission of human life. Life has ended, but the mission of life hasn't even started. Gone, opportunity gone. For another millions of years, we will be taking birth in the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, to come back again to human life. Discussed many times this thing. Say a person lives for 80 years, okay? And he eats meat, suppose. Apart from meat eating, we are doing so many things people do. And not only meat, even plants. If it is not prasadam, we are liable to be punished. So, suppose he is eating meat. And especially in countries like here, they eat meat 3 times a day. So, suppose 3 times a day for 80 years. Let's say, okay, children, say for 70 years, ate nicely meat. 75 years of life. Now there are in each, say, one breakfast or one lunch, there is some chicken thing, some prawn thing, some mutton, whatever, eggs. So how many lives did I cause the killing of? Say about 4 or 5 lives. If the prawn means maybe 20 prawns in one soup and another soup, whatever. So let's say on average 5 per meal. If 5 lives I have to take to be killed, imagine 75 years of 5 times 3 meals a day. 15 lives I am paying for every single day. How expensive? It's not that the bill we are paying in a restaurant, that's much how I'm paying for my food. No, I'm paying with my lives in the future. It's a credit card like payment where you enjoy first, pay later with interest, compound interest. That's what karma is. Allows you to first enjoy. Gives you the credit card of human life. Enjoy. And then when it comes, hits back the premium and the compound interest. Then it hits us very bad. Very bad. I mean, the exact descriptions of punishments are given. Just a very brief few in Bhagavatam. For all the things that people generally, in the course of their life, do these things as normal daily activities. And such punishments are there in the hellish descriptions are there in the Bhagavatam. Horrible. The kind of punishments we go through. I was saying many years back this video where in China, anything that moves they eat, whether land, air or sky, water, anything that moves they will eat. Everywhere it's the same almost, but So in China, there is this dish. The expert chef, how expert he is. They will cut the snake up. Snake, snake also they will eat. So they'll cut the snake up and put it in boiling oil and everything. And when it's on the plate, that piece of snake should still be moving. That thing should still be moving. Then it's expert. That you have nailed it. But then they don't know that they will be nailed in hell to like a crucifixion. And not just that, they will be boiled alive in the Kumbhi Pagad. And this is not just to scare people, this actually happens. And after that, it's not enough. They will come out after many, many thousands and millions of years in hell, they will come out and go into animal life. In animal life, there is suffering, right? One animal hunts another and kills it and eats it, and that animal kills another. So this is going on in the animal kingdom. So whatever the animal is suffering, if you can go and see the National Geographic channel, sometimes how the wild dogs are actually worse than lions. Lion will come, tiger, lion, they will come, suffocate the throat, kill the animal, and then start eating. Wild dogs don't wait for the animal to die. The animal will be standing there or running, and these wild dogs, pack of 30 of them, will chase the animal, however big that is, and then start to bite off at the backside of the animal, at the groin area where the skin is softer. And then they'll tear the skin off, and then, and then when the animal tries to fight, another dog comes from behind. They just continuously tear the animal apart while it's still standing. And at one point, the animal will just give up and just standing. And all its intestine, stomach, everything is out, hanging from its body. And the animal is still alive. And the dogs are just taking those parts and eating. How? That is hellish life. But that soul in that animal body went through hell. Not finished. Come back animal life, suffer again. Not one life. How many lives? This happens even in the waters. The fish, they kill each other like anything. The whales, have you seen those whales? I mean, how they eat? That humpback whale, huge mouth. And then it will go, and then thousands of liters of water it will just gulp. Along with it, all the krill, small krill, thousands of them in one gulp. Okay. And there are the orcas, the apex predator of the water, the killer whales. Same thing. They will bite the shark. Without the shark dying, they will open the thing, eat only the liver, and let the shark die. Is that not hell? That is hell. But that means that is residual punishment after having gone through hell. This is not even hell, this is earth. And here the punishment is already so bad. In the hellish planet, there we will have a body which will be tortured, but it will not die. Even if we beg for death, it will not come. We will not be handed death, because death will be far more peaceful than the torture. Even if we beg for death, we will not get it, because that body is like that. And it will be torn apart and everything. We will feel all the pain, but we will not die. Boiled, torn apart, eaten by vultures, and he has to see his own entrails being taken out and eaten. All this is there. And for what is this? One dinner. Oh, some candlelight romantic dinner, eaten rubbish there, and to go in hell, and this is what will happen. So we do not know in the food industry. You see the labeling. Don't ever go for these euphemistic labels that the Maya gives, these grotesque activities. Oh, this is food and beverage, F&B industry. Make it sound very nice, very sanitized. And you go to these restaurants, there is grading, how clean you are, how cleanliness and everything. A. Beef is there. A. So don't even rely on the government grading. What is that nonsense grading? So you can't believe anything. Maya is so deceptive. Oh, just because, it's a good quality, everything is neat and nice. You see McDonald's, how neat it looks. Nice presentation, no? We'll go there, it looks well put together, professionally, everything neat, all the tables and everything, all the, chairs, tables, and even the counter looks super polished and first class, first world. What is going on inside? Beef burger, mutton, chicken. Murder going on there. So that's the reality in Kali-yuga. Package rubbish very nicely that people will actually go and voluntarily do things that are detrimental for them. When you go to the clinic, everything looks neat and sanitized. They the syringe, one time used, you have to throw, all sanitized. What they're doing? Killing babies. Okay, gynecologists. What? Instead of taking care of the mother's health and child's health, they're killing. Of course, they care also for those who want. But if the mother doesn't want, okay, whatever the mother wants. So don't go by these labels. Deception is everywhere. Everywhere there is deception. Media is the biggest deception. Biggest deception. Because they will tell one story. Who knows that is correct or not? They hide so many things. So we have to understand, unless we see through Śāstra and have full faith in the Śāstra. Some people are like this. Yes, I will learn some shloka. Janma karma chame divyam evam yogati tattvavit dāsa deham punarjanma naiti mamet. So Arjuna, Prabhu, I memorized the whole Bhagavad Gita. Maybe they know all the 700 verses sometimes. Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshapha. And then go there, workplace. There will be some guy who changed into woman. He changed into a woman now. Why are you participating in that? You are reading the shloka. See whatever in the world through that shloka now. That is your lens through which our eyes are defective. We should see through the lens of Śāstra. This is called Śāstra Chakshusha. Why should we participate in that? In fact, we should tell them, don't stop this nonsense. We should tell. We should care. We should know what correct. First of all, what truth is. What is the use of learning shloka if I cannot apply it? If I cannot even understand it, and if I don't evaluate the world through the eyes of the Śāstra, what is the point in learning all this? It is not compartmentalized. I will come for Bhagavatam class. I will read books. I will chant, and then I will engage with the world just as a normal. And then I will participate in everything the world is doing in their own. No, it should not be the way. This should inform our every action in life, even in the material world. We should see through the deception of Maya. Otherwise, as much as we are trying to get ourselves convinced about Krishna consciousness, Maya is trying to convince us to go the other way. And sometimes Maya is very expert. Illusion, right? So she makes us feel that whatever we are hearing on the other side is not contradictory to whatever I am hearing here. Because, this is what it does not let you see the connection compartmentalized. When I'm reading this, okay, I'm reading this. When I'm reading that, that is another thing. It's not another thing. That is also Krishna's energy. That material world, devotees means not like, completely don't know what is going on in the material world. They're just so absorbed in Krishna. Don't give me that crap. If we are absorbed in Krishna, Krishna means what? Krishna, the spiritual world, the material world, everything. Right? So when we are knowing the material world, we are also knowing from Krishna only. For example, Bhagavatam deals with, say, cosmology, the geography and astronomy of planets. Now you may think, why? This is Puranam Amalam. This is supposed to be the cream of the Vedas, and it should only discuss Krishna consciousness. Dharma Projhita Kaitavotra. All the materialistic topics are thrown out of the Bhagavatam. Then why are they studying about planets? That is something like unrelated from God. Why are they? It is not unrelated. That's the point. Every subject that the materialist tries to study, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha, Krishna is saying, 10:8 Bhagavad Gita. I am the source of everything. Aham Sarvasya Prabhava means what? I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Mattah sarvam pravartate. Everything emanates from me. So whatever the materialist is discussing, why it is called a material topic? Actually, what makes something material? What makes something material? This is a very important point for all devotees to understand. What is actually material? 2934, and this verse is from the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam, if it is condensed into 4 verses, that is these 4 verses. 2933 to 2936 of Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, text 33 to 36. This is the 34th, second verse in that Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. Ritertham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tadvidyadatmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. What is Maya? O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Now, this verse has to be unpacked, and Acharyas wrote a long commentary, even Prabhupada wrote a long commentary on this. But whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me. Now, what is not in relation to Krishna? Is there anything that is not related to Krishna in any way? No, right? Everything is related to Krishna, because Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhava. Everything emanates from me. So how anything is not related to him? Then why is it said like this? Whatever appears to be of any value, it is without relation to him. So, it is like this. Say astronomy is a subject that the physicists, mathematicians, they try to explore. When they do it without connecting it to God, that is material. To study anything or to be concerned with anything without factoring in that God is the origin of this, and this is somehow or other related to Krishna or God, and I have to investigate that relationship. How is it related and how it can best be used in God's service, Krishna's service. So everything has to be connected. So if we do that, nothing is material. Prabhupada was arguing against this evolution theory of Darwin, Charles Darwin. And what was the problem? Because he said, from chemicals come life, and life evolves, and from monkey comes man, which is not true. But there are some aspects of that theory which are true, which are taken from the Vedas, that after one body, another body. But the soul is what transmigrates from one body to another, not that the body itself changes from one to another. So, you see, Darwin was trying to understand the life without God. That is material science. But Prabhupada addressed the same subject of life sciences with God, and that becomes spiritual. So, Ritertham, if it is without relation to me, that means if we try to study the energy of God or parts of the energies of God without considering God, that is a material subject. By definition, it will be incomplete because they do not know the full purpose of why that is created. The engineer who creates it, he knows why he created a certain machine or certain software or whatever. It is made for this purpose. Now, if I don't even consider the engineer and his purpose, I just use whatever is there for my own thing. When it was supposed to be used for something else, then the problem starts. Then I will have a deviant view of things, because I will try to explain everything without God, and it will not have answers. And that's an indicator that something is missing. We are missing a big chunk of the whole portion. For example, scientists, they come up with theories for life and everything. You know what the scientists say? Who taught us in our textbooks, we learned in school that, universe started with the Big Bang. We all learned in school, right? Even now, any scientist you ask, they say, one thing we do not know, how the Big Bang started. After that, besides that one thing, we can explain everything in this universe, which is also a farce because they cannot explain everything in the universe, really. Because they think they know, they do not. There's so much illusion at play that they actually do not know anything. They're seeing a very, very distorted version of the universe and they think they know. And whatever they think they know, they think that is kind of idea of everything. But then, of course, out of false humility, they will say, oh, we do not know much, we just know a little bit. That is also true. But they think they can explain in physics laws the whole creation. Except for that one Big Bang. How it started, we do not know. But after that, we can explain with physics all the development of the universe. They think. Actually, they do not. But the point is, they cannot explain the Big Bang. Why? That means something they are missing now. They are missing something very crucial. And it's not just how it started. Science can sometimes answer to an extent where it happened, what happened, how it happened, when it happened, but why it happened. They may go 1 level, 2 level, 3 levels. They can't go all the way up to Krishna. For example, an earthquake happened. They will say, this happened because there was some tectonic plates which shifted and then something. Okay, fine. But they cannot explain why these many people died. They can explain, they were living there. What is the big deal? They died. But no, why only those people? Karma, they do not know this. They cannot explain every single thing about every single thing. And even the tectonic plate shifting is because of Devata's act to punish those souls. One thing you have to understand, the entire universe is created to punish us and rectify us. Not just me, but the entire conglomerate of all souls. So this is a prison house. Dukhalana Śāstra. A prison, there is the Changi prison in Singapore. So every city will have a prison. Now that prison is meant for one thing, punishing those criminals and rectifying them if possible. And that is the only mission of this world, of Maya. So that's one thing we have to understand. And that we can only understand if we understand what is the crime that we committed. And that we can only understand if we understand what is the civil life. If this is criminal life, if I am punished for the crime, what was my crime? My crime was that I wanted to be a separate enjoyer from Krishna. I wanted to be a competitor to Krishna, to God. And Krishna said, okay, fine, give you a universe, you become the Lord. So that's how we started. And then we dragged ourselves to become the worm in the stool. And that's how we have been suffering. So that is the origin of our. So what was wrong in we wanting to become a competitor of God? Well, we are not God. So we should be just like this transgender nonsense has come from the original source. Actually, this interesting thing about transgenderism. This is not some new thing. This is the very beginning of our material life. Transgender. Why do I say that? Because in Sanskrit, male is Purusha. Purusha means enjoyer. Prakriti is female. And it is to be enjoyed by the enjoyer. The female is supposed to be enjoyed by the male. That's the definition. Now, in other words, Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govinda is the Adi Purush, the original male, the only male actually, is Krishna. He is supposed to be the enjoyer of everyone. We are classified in Bhagavad Gita as Para Prakriti. We are the superior energy. The material world is the inferior energy of the Lord, Apara Prakriti, which is also feminine, which is to be enjoyed by the Lord actually, but we are trying to become the enjoyer of this. And we are considered para prakriti, superior energy, superior nature, to be enjoyed by Krishna. So Adi Purusha, the original Purusha is only Govinda. But we female, right? We are female. What do you mean female? Only the gopis? No. Even Hanuman, for example, as masculine as he is feminine because he is to be enjoyed by Ram. His life is to just serve Ram. Just Ram should be happy. Ramchandra. I am only to cooperate with his happiness. That is feminine. That's why if you see even in this world, the masculine and the feminine natures, the feminine, even in the Vedic duties, the woman should help the man realizing, he will be more ambitious, more, that's masculine. And the feminine, the woman is supposed to help the man. But of course, the problem is here, whether man or woman body, the soul is supposed to be feminine, and therefore God is only masculine. And we being feminine, we want to be the enjoyer. Even in a relationship in this world, like man-woman, the woman also wants to be the enjoyer in that relationship. And that's the male mentality, male mindset. So we have assumed a male mindset in this world. We wanted to be the enjoyer. Purusha prakriti stohi bhumte prakriti jan gunan. It is said in the 13th chapter, 22nd verse of Bhagavad Gita. We have assumed the role of Purusha and we are trying to enjoy this prakriti. So we are actually female, but we are trying to be male, which is what transgenderism is, right? They're trying to exchange your sexes, sex change. So that's what actually this originally started there, this transgenderism. And this is just a perverted reflection on the material platform of transgenderism. And we can just see how by doing that, they cannot really enjoy it. They're mutilating themselves, they're cutting their own body parts and then like suffering. And that's exactly what's happening to us as well. We are supposed to be female, trying to be male, and we're suffering. Prakriti sthani karshati. We are absolutely being tormented because of our wrong decision to be the opposite sex. So if we become female again, spiritually, in cooperation with the supreme male Krishna, then our life will be successful. So when we remove God from the equation and study anything or be concerned with anything, that is material. And when we add God into it, immediately spiritual. Like money. We are also after money as much as the materialist is after money. Look at the donation box. We are also after money. And we have a membership scheme, what is it? Monthly some donation, we're asking. Festivals, we're asking some donation. We're also after money. In fact, sometimes people think we're only after money. Hey, these people, Hare Krishna people, outside every temple, they are standing there and asking money. These people have nothing to do but asking. So, we sometimes have this reputation of. But being after money is not a bad thing at all if that money is used for Krishna only. If I use it even 1 cent for myself, that is wrong. But if it is for Krishna, what is wrong? Classic example is Hanuman and Ravan. I made a TikTok on this. YouTube short? No, I did not convert into YouTube. Before YouTube started shorts. So in the pandemic time, I think somewhere around. Difference between Hanuman and Ravan. Ravan left his kingdom and went into the forest to look for Sita. Hanuman left his forest kingdom and went into the Swarna, golden Lanka, to look for Sita only. Both went to look for Sita. One is condemned, one is worshipped. So, one was material, one was spiritual. In fact, on top of that, Hanuman was a brahmachari. Brahmachari means, you should not have intimate connection with women. And his service, his seva was to look for the most beautiful woman, being a brahmachari. Look at the seva he had. Any brahmachari would be fallen. If my seva is to look for the most beautiful woman in the world, What kind of brahmachari? I mean, what am I meditating on? But he had to do that. He has to evaluate every woman's beauty. He has to look, oh, that's not very beautiful. Brahmachari should not even think like that. But he had to. Then he sees another woman. Actually, he got confused at one point when he saw Mandodari because she was exquisitely beautiful. And he was overjoyed. I found Sita. And he was jumping with joy. Because who can be, this is the epitome of beauty. But then, as much as he was overjoyed, and then finally the realization dawned on him, wait a minute. But if she's actually Sita, why is she happy in the association of Ravana? Something's wrong. No, this can't be Sita at all. Then he started again looking, and finally he found Sita in the Ashok in the forest. So imagine a brahmachari looking for the most beautiful woman in the universe, not this world, not this Miss World, some nonsense pageant that goes on to promote cosmetic brands, but actual real beauty. Most beautiful woman in the universe, Mother Sita, and he had to look for her. And Ravan also looked, same Sita. But Hanuman is worshipped even now. Because he looked for Sita to only unite her with Ram. Whereas Ravan looked for Sita to separate her from Ram. So every single dollar, every single cent, every single paisa that comes, it's actually a representation of Lakshmi. And Lakshmi belongs to who? Narayan. But these rascals, they are keeping Lakshmi with themselves. I told this to one businessman. I went to his office and said, you are Ravan. He was so angry. Because you're keeping money that is belonging to Krishna. That money does not belong to you. No, I earned it. What do you mean? How can you say I'm Ravan? This is rubbish. I said, no, don't be angry. Because I told him, I'm also Ravan only. Now I'm trying to mend myself. How many millions of lives I tried to be away from Krishna? So we are all Ravan here, many Ravanas. So Ravan means this, that we are keeping money away from Krishna. No, then what to say to people when they say, oh, I earned this, I worked hard and I became a millionaire, whatever. Yes, if I did that, whatever is in excess of what is absolutely necessary for my sustenance, that can be two things. It can be a gift. Actually, it is a gift. It's always a gift. Because that extra money can be used in Krishna's service. But we spoil the gift by using it for ourselves. And then it becomes a curse. Otherwise, whatever surplus we have is actually a good thing because we can use that. It's an opportunity to serve Krishna with that. But if we choose to use it for our own, then same thing. If it is without relation to me, if the money is not related to Krishna, if we just keep it to ourselves and my family, my this thing only, nothing to Krishna, then that is Maya. That is what Maya is. Otherwise, if it is related to Krishna, not Maya. So we can infiltrate any subject of this material world and actually give them the real perspective on things. For example, we can talk about politics. And we can talk to politicians and tell them actually what real politics is. How Ram Rajya, the kingdom of Lord Ram, how it was governed. How Yudhishthira Maharaj. And what are the principles they displayed, they put in place, that if you use, you can also have a very flourishing country. We can advise the politicians. So we know everything about politics better than the politicians. They know only how to scheme and cheat people and then get their money for themselves and live a good life. But we actually know politics properly because we know Krishna, and that is mentioned here in this verse. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yo mamevam asammudho janati purushottamam Sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without doubting, is the knower of everything. Everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharat. If you know Krishna, you know everything. So devotees should be like this. So what to speak of those devotees who do not know everything? That means I'm not being a proper devotee. Because even an illiterate devotee will know about everything if he really knows Krishna. But knowing Krishna means like this. We may be devotees, but we don't take interest in actually knowing Krishna. If we take interest in knowing Krishna, then we will start to see that we will know everything about everything. You see, Janma Karma Chamedivyam Evam Yovati Tattvataha. This word Tattvataha is so crucial in this verse. Tattvadeham Punarjanma Naitima Meti. So Arjuna, what is Tattvataha? So let's see what the translation. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, Arjuna. Now you think this verse has nothing to do with what you're saying. No, it has everything to do. Because when he says one who knows, actually know means, the word for know is vetti. You see, vetti means knows. But tattvataha means in reality. It's not exactly translated into the translation. It did not come out. But Prabhupada explained this many times in his lectures. We have to know Krishna in depth. In depth. Not just when he says my birth and activities. Oh, okay. Okay, I will read the Krishna book. That's what Krishna did. No, he took birth and he did activities. He killed some demons and he danced with some girls. And he, told Arjuna to tell some lies, and he told the Bhagavad Gita. And then he killed some kings when he was a king, and he kidnapped one queen and then married her, and then he saved 16,000 of them and married them. Yeah, I know about Krishna. That's not knowing anything about Krishna at all. That's not knowing Krishna at all. Krishna Tattvataha means when he says Janma Karma, not only his Krishna Janma, but all his avatars. Okay? But when he says Karma, not only what he does when he comes here. What about this creation? Is that not his karma? It is his work. Who created? From his breathing, universes are coming out. So in that universes, these planets are there. So astronomy is Krishna's work. When we say cosmology, we are trying to be some scientists. No. We are studying Krishna's energy. That's all. He created. Janma karma chame divyam. It's all transcendental. Because it is connected with Krishna, even the material world becomes transcendental. We can see how the cosmology of the universe is, and then we can appreciate how great Krishna is. When a surfer, America, Australia, they like surfing on the water. When they see the ocean, they become excited. Oh, I want to surf. That's how they see it. Of course, Prabhupada called them not surfers, but sufferers. Because they're going to suffer as fish in that ocean next life. But when Prabhupada saw the ocean, when he was going on the ship to the America, he came to the deck and saw the ocean, vast expanse, and nowhere in sight, the horizon, all the way to the horizon, every single side was water. And he just looked at the whole thing, and then he said, Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopal Jaya Jaya. Why? Because as vast as the ocean is, as powerful as the ocean is, it is existing because of Krishna, first of all. And people so relaxed, they go to the beach and lie down in Western countries, half naked, almost naked. No security, nothing. They're just relaxing there. They are at the cusp of danger. If that ocean comes a little bit into the land, they're finished. Their cities are finished. But they're right at that shore, on the beach, playing with their children. On whose order the massive ocean is not going beyond its boundary. Krishna's order. How powerful is Krishna? Immediately, see how Prabhupada is saying. He saw the ocean and he said, Govinda Jaya Jaya. It is under complete control of Govinda, which cannot be controlled by anyone, but completely under the control of Govinda. Then you may ask, why does the tsunami come? Yeah, Govinda only orders the tsunami to come. When the rascals are there, overpopulation of rascals, then okay, you can kill them. You may say, how can you say the rascals are suffering? We should understand one thing. Nobody suffers without any cause. Nobody suffers for no reason. Our suffering is brought upon by our own selves. When things happen like grotesque things like rape, gang rape. Recently, there was a Bengal doctor who was raped and murdered horribly. In 2012, there was a Nirbhaya case, gang rape. Last week, gang rape. Oh, Mayapur also gang rape going on. Look at that. So when we hear about this news, everybody of course sympathizes with the woman, right? Of course, and rightly so. It should not ever happen. And it's not just, we cannot just target that one thing and say, oh, this man is a monster. Yeah, he's a monster for sure. He's a rascal, and he has to be death. And don't just hang him, don't just electrocute him and let him die a painless death. No. If I were the king, I always say this, if I was just the king, I would unleash the worst hell upon that kind of person. And even myself, when I hear this news, I get so worked up, and I imagine all the kind of tortures that I want to do to this guy. Unimaginable tortures. Not even in the animal kingdom, even in hell, they would find the kind of tortures I want to do that to him. And I even visibly, in fact, in my mind, I imagine these things like what he should go through. And to some people, actually, I told also. So it's very graphic. But anyway, the point is this: he has to be punished in the most horrible way. That's that nobody ever dares to repeat that kind of activity again. But more than that, it's a systemic fault. For every one person that does such the kind of crime, there must be thousands who only thought about it but never did it because of, there are going to be laws, they're going to be caught, and otherwise, if there was no law, if there was anarchy, that's exactly what they would do. And it's visible when there is war. And, when the victorious army, what they do? They rape women, they kill children. They do this. In their home country, they would have never done this. They would have had families. They would protect their own wives maybe. But when they go there, why? Because this is there in every single soul in this material world. This tendency, loke vyavaya mishamad seva nitya vijantor nahi tatra chodana vyavasthitisteshu vivaha yajna suragrahairasu nivrittirishta. In this material world, the conditioned soul is always inclined to sex, meat eating, and intoxication. Always. Therefore, religious scriptures never actually encourage such activities. Although the scriptural injunctions provide for sex through sacred marriage, for meat eating through sacrificial offerings, and for intoxication through the ritual acceptance of ritual cups of wine, such ceremonies are meant for the ultimate purpose of renunciation. That's the real purpose of it. So, but the point is, nahi tatra chodana, there's no need for educating anyone on this. Everybody has a natural tendency to do these things. Illicit sex, gambling, intoxication. These are natural tendencies. So give it facility, they will do it. Therefore, if one is religious, then they will curb, not only externally with rules and regulations, but also internally, he will understand that this is not good for me at all. I should not do this. And how can I put others in jeopardy like that? And if I do not understand anything, I will be punished either by the state or by the law of karma. I have to be punished. So, coming back to the point, when a woman gets raped, and yes, we have to have, for example, even pornography, which is so widespread now, that should never exist. Why does it exist? Forget that. Even in normal movies, which are not pornography, there are intimate scenes. Why are you putting it there? Take it out. What is it? There should not be any movies at all except for depicting the pastimes of the Lord. Otherwise, it should not be there at all. But so if you allow all those things in the name of entertainment and yet expect the person to be an expert sadhu with first class behavior, no, you're going to have problems. So that is that. But now let's come to the case of that woman who got raped. Why did she get raped? Apart from, yes, that guy is monster, yes, there was a fault in this and that, all that is there. But the real cause, the more subtle cause is we get as karma whatever we did in the past life, some past life. So what would we wish for that rapist? That he should undergo the exact same pain, if not more, right? He should have the exact same pain that he put through, that lady through, right? So guess what? That's exactly what happens. That man will become a woman and experience that exact thing that he did as a man. And that's justice served. Even though in this life that woman may be completely did not do much wrong. Again, who classifies what is right and wrong? That's another thing, all a different question. But we do not see beyond birth, before birth, what happened. We don't know. So if this life something happened, something somewhere, some karma is there. We're not saying, yeah, that lady deserves this. Well, we always think like that the man deserves all kind of punishment. When he changes body, we forget about that, and then now the woman, we don't see the connection, so we, of course, will wish well for that lady. And of course, we should wish well for everyone. But then, as devotees, when we do understand karma, should we be just satisfied with that explanation that, oh, that was just karma playing out, so that lady got what she deserved? Where is the compassion? So what should be how should we even think about that? Well, yes, we should be compassionate. But what can actually be done? The real thing that will save anyone is Krishna consciousness. That lady maybe was sinful in the past life, something she did because of which she's getting this. Now, that could have been averted if she surrendered to Krishna. Because Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. What did he say? Sarva dharman parityajya. Give up all kinds of religion and just surrender to me. Give up all kinds, surrender to me. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. Sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. What is that? Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So Krishna is giving us the assurance that if we surrender to him, whatever we have done in the past, it will be forgiven. Of course, provided we never do that again. Not that I confess and I go back to what is the meaning of that confession? 3 times I can accept the sorry, but 4th time you do no nonsense. No remorse, nothing. Simply confess. What is the point of confession? So confession means to actually rectify. Ātapyamāna hridaye vasitam namāmi. In the repentant heart, the Lord actually takes interest to reside. The Lord resides in the repentant heart. Ātapyamāna hridaye vasitam. So, aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Whatever sin we have done, Krishna will excuse. So this we can do. So if you are really compassionate for the suffering of anyone and everyone, and everybody is suffering because of their own karma, whether it's rape or whatever, whether it's even lesser degree or whatever, everybody is mentally, physically, whatever suffering is going on is because of their previous karma. So if we feel compassionate, what should we do? Give them Krishna consciousness. That's a real welfare activity. Otherwise, again they will suffer. As long as they don't understand this point, they will keep on committing sinful activities and they will keep on suffering. So that's why preaching Krishna consciousness is the greatest welfare activity. And by preaching Krishna consciousness, we ourselves also become Krishna conscious. Now I'm sitting here speaking. Unless I think of Krishna, unless I think of these topics, I cannot speak about it, right? So I'm also forced to become Krishna conscious. And the listener also becomes Krishna conscious. So in this way, Preaching is all auspicious. Sankirtan, preaching is all auspicious. Jagan Mangalamam Hasam is auspicious for the entire universe. So that's what you should actually do. That is proper utilization of human life. Of course, there are many aspects of this verse which I want to touch upon, but this is the thing. We should not waste our human life, the opportunity that we have, simply whiling away time and or taking up projects in life which are unworthy. I think the other day I was telling, just because something is difficult does not mean it is worthy. To become a boxing champion is a difficult job, but is it a worthy thing to do in life? Not only wasting human life, but also getting hit in the face and hit in the head so many times, brain damage will be there. Is it really worth that sacrifice? Yeah, we can be inspired by how Mike Tyson was, how Muhammad Ali was, but just because it is difficult to get there, is it really worth it? No. Energy, speed are admirable, but they mean nothing without direction. Speed and direction, speed and velocity. What is the difference between speed and velocity?
Well, velocity has a direction and speed is just a scalar.
Yes, physics. Velocity means speed with direction. So if we just have speed or if we just have energy, but there is no direction in life, like, where are we going with that speed? We'll crash into something. So we need direction. So that direction is Bhagavad Gita. In that direction, even if it is slow, never mind. Of course, if it is fast, all the better. But direction should be correct, whichever speed. Of course, we are advocating for maximum speed in the right direction, but direction should be right. So, like I said, this Elon Musk, he got this rocket to land back and capture with his robot arms. And significant feat. Worth it? Not really. Even if he goes to Mars, worth it? Not really. Forget about Mars. Those two people are stuck in the International Space Station, right? They're stuck. They cannot come back. Imagine being stuck on Mars, 140 million miles away. They're just like a few hundred miles away. Stuck, cannot come back. What? 140 million miles away. Gone. So, even if we get to Mars. So, and you know what? That is already stated in Bhagavad Gita. This going and coming back, which is the modern technological marvel. Let's see how marvelous it is. Stated in Bhagavad Gita as a nothing, as one verse, 700 verses, that's all. Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam shine punye martyalokam vishanti evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna gatagatam kama kama labhante. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. See the return? They go to higher planets and they return. What Elon Musk did with his thing, one verse it is just said as a side business in Bhagavad Gita. It's not even the main subject of Bhagavad Gita. In fact, it is said here, those idiots who think that going to heavenly planets is the biggest achievement of life, they go there, enjoy. Actually, they can enjoy. These guys, they go to Mars and they suffer there. No atmosphere, nothing, suits and everything. But they actually enjoy because they really see those life on the Mars and actually it's full with life. They cannot see scientists. They actually participate in that civilization, enjoy life, finish the thing, come back. Shine punyam artilokam vishanti. So what, this rocket, 9 million lines of code, they said, 9 million lines of code and everything. One line of code from Bhagavad Gita. Shine punyam artilokam vishanti. Brahma bhuvanal loka punaravartino arjuna. Even if you go to the topmost planet, 8th chapter 16th verse, you will come back again and suffer. One line is finishing 9 million lines of code. One line of code in Bhagavad Gita. It's a condemned aspect. It is condemned. It's not even touted as this scientific thing we are explaining in Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, it is scientific, but it's actually condemned. So that is the standard. That is the station from which we are speaking. That's the platform from which we are speaking. Our knowledge is so far above this thing. What is touted as the greatest advancement, sign of advancement of human civilization, is condemned so badly in Bhagavad Gita. Alpamedhasa. Krishna is calling, just 2 verses after this, he calls him Alpamedhasa. They say Elon Musk is the smartest guy on the planet. No, he's Alpamedhasa. Means very tiny brain here. Not so smart actually. So that's how elevated this topic is. So we should be concerned with this topic of life and not be enamored just because people say that Elon Musk is the smartest guy on the planet, or they put on a pedestal people who are actually on the level of animals. And I'm not saying this. Svavidvara hoshtra kharai samstutaha. Samstutaha means praise. Not just praise. Stutaha means already praise. Samstutaha means greatly. Completely, in fact. Samyak stutaha. Completely. They are completely praised. Purushaha pashuhu. Pashu means what? Animal. They are in the form of Purusha only. Only their shape look like a Purusha. But actually they are Pashu from the inside and out. In their character and their everything. Samstutaha Purusha Pashuhu Nayat Karna Pathopeto Jatu Nama Gadagrajaha. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Not just saying animals. Shva, Vidvara, Ushtra, Kharai. Exact animals are mentioned. They praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from all evils. So small animals get together and praise or elect a bigger animal as their leader. If you give your vote, you are basically praising them. It's more than just verbal praise. You are actually putting your money where your mouth is. And putting your vote where your mouth is. That's praise. So you're voting for a man who's on the level of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. And other places of Bhagavatam, other animals are also added to the list. So, look at that. Because we do not know what is the aim of life. So, don't go by the vox populi, by the popular opinion of people of who is actually worshipable or who is actually great. Again, there is another deception of Maya by showing you the Forbes magazine, Forbes 30 list. That's Maya. Don't believe that. Fake news. That's fake news. Real news you want, Bhagavatam. You will know actually who is Mahatma. Not the Forbes 30 is the list of Mahatmas. The list of Mahatmas is mentioned here. Yeah. This is a list of Mahatmas. स्वयंभूर नारद शंभु कुमार कपिलो मनु प्रह्लादो जनको भीष्मो बलिर्वैयासकिर्वयम् द्वादशैते विजानीमो धर्मं भागवतं भटाः गुह्यं विशुद्धं दुर्बोधं यं ज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते. Lord Brahma, Bhagavan Narada, Shiva, Kumaras, Kapila, Swayambhu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, Bhishmadev, Bali Maharaj, Shukadev Goswami, and myself. Who is this myself? Yamaraj. We know the real religious principle. This transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavad Dharma, is uncontaminated by material modes of nature. What is Bhagavad Dharma? Surrender to the Supreme Lord and love for Him. Uncontaminated. It is very confidential and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand, but if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated and thus he returns home back to God. So this is actually Mahatma, and the definition of Mahatma is given by Krishna as this: Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa Mahatma. Who is Mahatma? Who surrenders to Krishna 10%, he is Mahatma. Not somebody who's on the Forbes 30 list who was an entrepreneur and earned some money. And they are classified as Vaishyas at best or Mlechas at worst. At best, they can be Vaishyas, businessmen. And in Vedic civilization, businessman is a third class community. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Not saying that we are discriminating, this is caste discrimination. Again, you are bringing it. No. Everybody has a different level of IQ and EQ and SQ, spiritual quotient. So accordingly, they are classified. We have to have classifications. Otherwise, make your the worker as a boss now. Why there is classification? You are boss and he is worker. No. Let him be boss. Why are you talking about equality? Let him be boss now. Let him sit on your chair. No. He is worker. So don't talk. So everybody has a different role in society. It's not about classifying and demeaning him. No. But there is first, second, third, and fourth classes according to intelligence. But the good thing is, everybody, according to his level of intelligence and spiritual leaning, he is engaged in Krishna's service. Even the Shudras or the Kshatriyas, if the Kshatriyas are, first of all, the Brahmanas, they must study the Shāstras and teach bhakti to others. Okay, that is a Brahmana's job. Kshatriyas, he should not just, Brahmanas teach, this is how you should behave, this is how you should conduct yourself, this is how, this is the goal of life. But Kshatriyas make it into policy, enact laws based on that, teachings of Vedas. It's a theocracy. Theocracy means religious government. Our Vedic culture has always been a theocracy. Government should be religious, not secular. They should recognize God and they should encourage everyone to become devotees of God. They cannot be agnostic, religion agnostic. No, they can't do that. And that's a demonic government. Now, the Kshatriyas should take advice from the Brahmanas on how to rule. Okay, this is sin. Okay, that will be crime in my kingdom. That's what a Kshatriya should do. Today, sin means what is there in the scripture. Crime means what is there in the constitution. According to the scripture, eating meat is sin. According to constitution, no problem. So the sin and crime are not matching. Whereas in Vedic culture, exact match. Sin is crime. That's why Parikshit Maharaj, when a man was trying to kill a cow, immediately stopped. Who are you? He took out his sword. How dare you try to kill a cow? I will kill you now. That's king. Nowadays, beef industry, that is food and beverage, making money. Government is making money out of it. Taxing animal, livestock, whatever. That is today's government. So in this way, we have to know. And Vaishyas, they earn money. They do agriculture, cow protection, and business. So today, Forbes 30 list, the most successful people in the world, they're just third class people, Vaishyas, at best. But if their business is, suppose, meat industry, they are Yavanas, Mlechas of the highest order. At best, they can be Vaishyas, nothing more. Don't put them on a pedestal, because you're putting money on a pedestal. That's why whoever has money, he is on a pedestal. Is money the deciding factor on who is first and who is second and who is third class? But today, that's what happens. When you go to the flight, I have many times told this. There is a first class ticket, business class, and then there's the economy class. Actually, first class, because he can pay more money. The airlines can get more money. So they'll call you first class. You can't pay money. If I call you second class, you will not like it. So I'll call you business class. Business class. Posh, still posh. Third class, what to call these people? Okay, make them feel nice about their cheap nature. Call them economy. You are very economical. You are very judicious with your money. You are very, you don't spend too much money. You are very, economical. That's very responsible thing to do. I should not spend too much money. Yeah, you are economy class. But for them, you are a third class fellow. You are paying just, a little bit. Don't talk too much. Baggage more than 15 kilos will penalize you. That's what actually it is. Money defines, and countries, how they are great. Those who have more money, GDP, that's all matters. What is the culture of the country doesn't matter. GDP matters. Money you have, you're first class. USA, first class or top of the world. What they are actually? The worst of the world. They are the ones who start every single war, every single pandemic, everything comes from US. That's what is happening now, right now. So character doesn't matter. But Vedic culture, character mattered. If an absolute beggar of a sage who has no money, nothing to his name, if he entered an assembly of a palace, the king will get down his throne and make the sage sit on the throne. He will get down from the throne and sit on the ordinary seat, and he will let the sadhu come and sit on the throne. That is the culture. Where the first class person is the person who is closer to God, who has character, who has. So that is the determining factor, not the GDP at all. So what the material world tells us that this is great, that is great, don't believe that. Don't believe that. Be informed by the Shastras, always. Even if the entire world is against you. There was one Christian saint, Saint Augustine. He said, what did he say? If the world stands against the truth, I stand against the world. If the world stands against the truth, I stand against the world. It is one thing to know that I stand against the truth. But if what happens if the whole world is accepting the truth, that against the truth, I mean the lie. If the whole world is living the lie, because everybody is saying, I think it must be true. How can statistics, how can 90% of the people be wrong? How can 95? Yes, they're wrong. 95% people are idiots, they're wrong. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. Manushanam Śāstra kaschit yatati siddhaya. 1 in a billion actually understands me. 1 in a billion understands actually what is dharma, what is the actual aim of life. It's an absolute minority. It's not the majority. Don't go by majority. Majority is the Maya's way, the demoniac way, which makes you think that, how can 95% people be wrong? They're wrong. Exactly. That's the point. They're wrong. That's why they are 95%. Because this material world is a place for rascals. We all are rascals. Some of us trying to rectify it, some of us still not. But all rascals. So here you can only expect rascals. So 95% rascals, that's the natural state of the material world anyway. In fact, 95 is too generous. 99.999% of people are rascals. They do not accept the supremacy of God. Some people say they do, but they don't. Only lip service. So okay, I'll stop here. Very late. Any questions or comments? The only comment is too long. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद।